Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Music Den. I am your host Armando Venditti, and in this installment of Misguided or Misunderstood, I'm going to be talking about an album from a Canadian artist that some people, well, it's a very polarizing album. Some people love it, some people think it's fantastic, some people think it was done by a lunatic, some people think that the when they released this album that they were shooting themselves in the foot and that they were sabotaging their career. Um, but you know what? That's what the comments down below are for. So down below, down there, please leave your comments on this album. Do you think that it was a fantastic album? Do you think it was? It was not. And the album first of all, the artist I'm talking about is Neil Young, and the album is Trans. Now, Trans was recorded and released in 1983, January 10th of 1983. It was finished in 1982, but the album was pushed back from a December release to a January 3rd release, and then it was released officially January 10th. This was Neil Young's new record contract with Geffen Records. He had left Reprise in 1981 after releasing Reactor. He had been with Reprise since 1968 for his debut, and he wanted a change. So David Geffen, having managed Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and having that rapport with Neil Young, offered him a deal. The deal was for $1 million per album. And Neil Young had total carte blanche as to do whatever he wanted to do on his albums. We'll get more into that in a bit. As I said at the top, Trans is a polarizing album. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people think that it's a confusing album, and some people think that it's an innovative album. But again, opinions are subjective, right? At the time Neil Young released Trans, he was working on another album. He decided to shelve that album and started to go back to other tracks that he was working with Crazy Horse and rework them and put more electronic elements on these tracks. I remember reading from one of the members of Crazy Horse that said that he basically stripped everything that the band did on these songs and put electronic drums, bass, synclavier, vocoder, all that stuff. He says, well, he said something else, but I won't go into it. There are 9 tracks, 3 of them which feature live vocals, and they are Little Thing Called Love, Hold On to Your Love, and Like an Inca, which is the last track on the album. The rest of the tracks, Computer Age, Mr. Soul, which is a remake from Buffalo Springfield, Sample and Hold. Those tracks all have vocoder effects on them, and he uses the vocoder quite prominently. I believe it's a Sennheiser vocoder that he uses, and the reason for this use was that he had started to go into therapy, or started a therapy program with his son Ben, who was born with cerebral palsy and is nonverbal, and he wanted to do these tracks in order just to basically he thought maybe that when Ben heard someone speaking to him, then maybe he heard them with those digitized voices, those computer voices. So, I mean, it was an innovative idea. It was at the time considered out there. New wave had already been in full swing. So this album is classified as a new wave album in terms of the use of vocoder and digitized processed voices and stuff. Personally, for me, I like the album a lot. I've always loved Computer Age as a track. There is a live video of it, and that he does with Crazy Horse. And if you hear it, it's fantastic. It brings what's on the record to full effect and full force when it's done live. It's fantastic. The the when the album was delivered to Geffen, first of all, David Geffen did not like the album that Neil Young was going to previously do. He didn't think it was his best work. So when he delivered this album, he liked it probably, I would imagine, even less, because he was saying that you can't even understand what is said through the processed voices. And, how are they going to make heads or tails of what you're doing here? And Neil Young basically said, that is what I'm trying to do here. That is the point. Because if people who have a disability and they're nonverbal, if this is what they're hearing, then when someone speaks to them, then this is the point I'm making. And the point is getting across. So then, fine. He releases the album, and then he, a few months later, releases Everybody's Rockin', which was a rockabilly album, which clocked in at just under 25 minutes. So then Geffen, David Geffen, sorry, ended up suing Neil Young for presenting how can I put this? For giving him music that he could not promote properly. Forgetting all along that he gave Neil Young a contract that gave him total control over the type of music he wanted to release. So that was settled out of court, apparently with a personal apology from David Geffen to Neil Young for the lawsuit. Oh, by the way, yes, Neil Young ended up countersuing him in this situation. Anyways, do I think it was misguided or it was misunderstood? I think it's a fantastic record. I think that Neil Young was doing whatever the hell he wanted to do. I think that it was a new record deal. He wanted to maybe break away from what he was doing in the folk rock field. And he thought eventually people would catch on to what he was doing and what he was trying to convey in terms of his messages. And the album is looked back on today as an album that was again ahead of its time and something that was quite innovative. So I mean, this is the question too. I mean, like, when is an artist allowed to do whatever they want to do? When does an artist arrive in their career? When they basically can record and present their music in any way that they want to present it. It may sell, it may not sell, but at least they're doing what they want to do with their music. So, but anyways, that's up to you. Please, again, down below, leave your comments. Do you like this album? Do you not like this album? Do you think it was a mistake? Do you think it was Neil Young sabotaging himself? Or do you think it was Neil Young just following his muse and doing whatever the heck he wanted to do? So for now, that's the end of the show. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Again, leave your comments down below. Hit like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep you on top of any new content that I'll be putting up. And hopefully you guys are looking after yourselves and one another. And I'll be back with another video, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.